Welcome to Good Morning Guyana. From the latest in news and current affairs to inspiring stories from our communities. Expect engaging discussions on trending topics, exciting interviews with local celebrities, delicious recipes from our kitchens, and much, much more. So let's come together to celebrate all that makes our nation so special. Every morning is an opportunity to shine bright. Good morning, Guyana.
Good morning and welcome to the Good Morning Guyana show. Whether you're tuning in from right here in beautiful Guyana or anywhere else in the world, welcome to the Good Morning Guyana show. As usual, we have something super exciting in store just for you. We have a discussion which we will be diving into about the Nine Nations, which is an organization that represents indigenous people. And in studio with us is Enoch Olikok, a representative from the Nine Nations who will tell us more in depth. And before we get into the meat of today's show, let's take a quick break for an inspirational quote of the day.
Success means doing the best we can with what we have. Success is the doing, not the getting. In the trying, not the triumph. Success is a personal standard, reaching for the highest that is in us, becoming all that we can be. This is a famous quote by the legendary Dr. Cheddi Jagan, an activist, first Chief Minister of British Guyana, and former President of the Republic of Guyana.
Welcome, Enoch.
Good morning,
Good
Dan.
morning.
Thanks for having me.
How are you feeling?
Brianna, I am feeling okay.
Brianna.
Brianna.
Can you tell us what that is?
So, in the context of the language that I'm speaking, it is Mapuche. I am Mapuche from I'm indigenous, but from the Mapuche tribe. As you know, there are 9 that resides in Guyana. So I was responding to you basically with the question of how you're doing. So asking you, it's Brianna, I would say Ina Priyawai. So you asked me, Brianna,
Brianna.
Ina Priyawai.
That is.
Yes, I'm doing okay.
Okay.
So you're asking, how are you doing? And I say, yes. Or are you okay? And I respond and I say, yes, I'm okay.
So we're talking about Nine Nations. Tell us what Nine Nations represent. What is Nine Nations about?
So, firstly, the Nine Nations is a youth-led indigenous community or organization, as we're trying to have it legally registered, that would have been established or gathered firstly in the year 2022, right? So it's a community of indigenous people. However, we not just cater for indigenous people, as we would like to say that it is a community for Guyanese at large. So it's a safe space for artists or persons who would like to pursue an artistic path to have that creative space for them to do that, right? So it is a community in the sense of having those express themselves, a space where you can grow, basically where you could learn. And also what we try to do, since we're also not pulling from youth itself, but pulling from the older generation as well, to have a transition of indigenous culture in today's society, which is a more modern and urban touch. So that's basically what Nine Nations is.
That's truly fascinating. And diving into history a bit, who founded Nine Nations?
So for me, what I can advise or what I can say about the Nine Nations is that it has always been a conversation. You know, persons would meet, persons would talk like, hey, or I would like to see a more inclusive touch, especially in the urban region, which is Georgetown, of indigenous cultures, not just being appropriated or being touched on surface-wise. We would like for them to actually see stuff that are authentic. You know, indigenous team stuff, indigenous craft, indigenous culture being integrated into the urban society. So that is what our first focus was, a conversation that started off the entire Nine Nation. Of course, firstly, as Nell, one of the secretary for the group would always say, the conversation was started by myself. You know, we created a local WhatsApp group and we had that where we added other artists, persons that might be artistic, and we had a conversation, but that never materialized due to the COVID. However, in 2022 and 2023, the group would have gathered in Georgetown. And they would have discussed that being the current president, which is Sharika, the vice president, Nigel, who's an artist, Nell Sonia, who is a very, very supportive person. She is of Indian descent, but she is very supportive when it comes to Indigenous culture. And it's also had Dr. Leroy Hendricks, who would have played an important and integral role in gathering and assisting with everyone there. So it's basically started as a conversation that stems into something bigger. So as history-wise, to say that it broke, it basically started just a WhatsApp group into something bigger.
Oh, amazing. And the president is
Sharika Ambo,
Sharika.
2023, 2015, Miss Indigenous and Heritage Month.
Really?
Yes,
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
correct.
I didn't know that. Amazing. All right. So you have two events coming up, right?
Yes. So in terms of the agenda or calendar for the year, we would usually have two events posted on the same day. But what we're trying to do this year, well, because of the scope we're trying to project to this year, we're looking at having two events on separate dates. Those dates being the 12th of July, which we will be celebrating our anniversary as Nine Nations for the third year, and in August the 12th, where we would have a separate event. So normally what would happen, the event would be hosted on the same day, one in the day part, where we would have the exhibition, a more educational approach to integrating Indigenous culture and what it's about to persons or patrons that might be available during the course of the day. While we have the night event, which would usually be the fashion show or the fashion extravaganza, where we would have designers from different regions of Guyana, all showcasing Indigenous themed or Indigenous fashion, right? So those are the two events that we're having this year, but instead of having them on one day, we're going to be splitting them to have them in separate days to have a more fulfilling event in itself.
All right. And the exhibition, would our people be needing tickets?
So for the exhibition, we usually try to have it open to the public in terms of it not being a ticketed event or having to pay for entrance. We would usually have it open to the public in order for them to see, to engage, to interact. One of the things we would like to say that we're doing with this part of the Nine Nations event would be to give back, to involve as much as possible persons from the regions, because we have an itinerary that we're going to be following this year. Of course, we are going to be having, just to name a few, we're going to be showcasing some of the local skills in terms of making hammock from both the tibisiri that we use and the cotton. So both are from specific tribes. We are going to be having a cassava bread making competition. So if you're skilled and you're out there and you can do your stuff, we do invite you to take part in that. We have the tumo making, a headdress making, and a jewelry station. So we're looking to have that.
Good morning, Guyana.
So as we trickle down during the course of the day, I would have explained that we have some events that we're going to be having competition for, basically, where you can sign up as you visit and take part in that. Right now, in the evening aspect, we are going to have some of the Indigenous prominent persons that would have added or experienced and have shared basically what music is like in terms of the Indigenous aspect to Guyana as a large. So we're going to have the Soram cultural leader, or he's now the Kada cultural leader, who is going to be sharing a bit of his experience in terms of music making for the culture group and how he would have sustained, basically the culture within his village and transitioning it to not just national levels, but international levels as well. So we're going to have an engagement session where we have those persons like those who are going to be indulging with the public and interacting with them as much as possible to just give feedback on what they're doing in that aspect of music.
All right. So since you're telling us all about the good things that will be happening and all this exciting stuff, where is this event being held?
So for the past 2 years, because this is the third year that it's going to be coming back, we would have had it at Black Magenta on Camp Street, first of all. They were one of our sponsors, and big shout out to them. Thank you so much for that. We would have had it at on Landscape Street as well, on a private residence there, where we birthed the entire fashion concept or the entire exhibition concept, right? So big shout out and thank you to them as well for even hosting us as they were private. Right. So this year we're setting our eyes on a bigger venue definitely. I wouldn't be able to confirm it just yet, as it has not yet been finalized, but it is going to be on the outskirts of Georgetown, so Greater Georgetown, not central, Greater Georgetown, but still accessible.
Oh. And that would be the exhibition?
No, University of Ghana's campus.
No, the event.
Yes,
That the
For the-
exhibition will have been.
correct. So we'll be considering the
Oh, both events.
events, but on separate. Right.
And do we have the tickets yet for the fashion show?
So availability wise, no, they're not yet available for purchase, but they should be in the second week of July.
Second week of July. Alright, and how is preparation coming so far for this fashion show?
So in terms of the fashion show, that will be the second event, which will be on the 12th of August. So we have a bit more space and time to prepare for that, but we would have already started working. We would have already scouted our models because it's an entire show. Anybody that works in the fashion industry will tell you that it is not just a conversation or a text you can do, it's an entire work all by itself. So we would have already started working in terms of having the models prepare themselves, engaging with other prominent models in the industry in Guyana itself to also give feedback for some of them because some of them are new. This is their first time that they're going to be on the runway and all of that. So we try to cater to that aspect and also make it educational as possible in terms of persons who might actually want to be taking up that as a job in the industry in Guyana.
Right, that's amazing. And when it comes to models, are you working with models from all various regions?
So what we do advise, or what we try to do, seeing it's something that is based in town, once you are available and you are committed to showing that you are going to be learning all of the stuff as you go along and keeping abreast of everything, we cater for persons that are either central Georgetown or centralized in Georgetown and that are available to train. Whereas if you are out of Georgetown and you do have an interest in it, we advise that you can also fill in other parts because we don't just have the fashion show for a year. We have other gigs that would come up where we would have the need for our models. So it's a year-round thing that you would have to engage in.
All right. And when it comes to the models, so you're engaging when you're available in town.
Correct. So once you're based in Georgetown, you're available.
Yeah.
We have we give you the first pick, whereas you are out of Georgetown and you're still interested, of course, there's always the other year, but we also give you an opportunity to have different gigs filled.
And scouting for these models, how was the selection process? What's the selection process?
That's an excellent question, especially for an indigenous team event. Persons might be of the idea that, hey, we're only going to be scouting for indigenous models, where that is not true. What we can advise is that we do have a model director, Ms. Danielle, who has been working with us for this year's event, where we had Jelena, who's also an executive member for the group, who would have worked the previous year. Now, how do we scout for the models? We put an open call on our socials. If persons might have seen it on Facebook, Instagram, you have this that you usually have out there, and also it's for me, what I can advise is that persons will reach out because the indigenous community in Georgetown is closely knitted in a sense, or it's small. So persons, word goes around, persons reach out, and persons, when you're signing up or when you're showing an interest in modeling, you will usually have to fill out the registration form, which is the voluntary form as well. And I just advise that most of these models, and a big shout out and to them specifically as we go along this year's agenda, are doing most work voluntarily. Whereas for other events and stuff, they might have a paid gig per se. But one of the things we would advise them is that as we go along, and it's something that we're developing, hopefully in the new year, we could pay salaries for being a part of it. But for now, volunteering is one of the biggest ways that we go about having them available. And also the need to add to the community, build an essence of community, a spirit of community. You give back to the community through that.
I love that. All right, that was all those exciting news for our audience. Let's take a quick break and hear the Guyanese proverb of the day.
Never cross bridge that's your cross. This means be grateful for favors from anyone because someday you may need another.
Welcome back. I hope you get the message from that Guyanese proverb because one day when you cross a bridge, you never know. You might have to go right back. As we bring the curtains down on today's show, here's a song that promotes unity, oneness, togetherness in this beautiful country of ours.
Bire mazak wurut nogong. Morowiak kok manoro tijit ningai.
We are one Guyana, a place of peace, a place of love. We are one Guyana, it's paradise, it's our world. A place of love. We are one Guyana. It's paradise, it's our world.
Yeah, some of we born on the hills, some on the low coastal plains. Plenty rice and sugar cane. Same Guyanese blood in our vein. So make we burn out the hatred, time for erase it. Can't make that destroy. 6 race I share the same space in this 83,000 square miles.
We are one Guyana, a place of peace, a place of love. We are one Guyana, it's paradise, it's our world.
Brother is a brother, no matter which religion is you. Could a Buddhist, Christian, Muslim, Hindu. Sister is a sister, real and true. One big part of culture brew.
And all of we together could really make this dream come true of a brighter Guyana for me and you. Ocean to mountains, hear this tune. Take it cool.
We are one Guyana, a place of peace, a place of love. We are one Guyana, it's paradise, it's our world. My love runs deep like a beautiful rivers for Guyana. Oh, and when we stand as one, mighty like Mount Jemima, for Guyana, for Guyana. Our life would be beautiful, just like Guyana. She's blessed us with her own, just got to embrace her. They say one and alone can't clap, so let's put our hands together. Give her a standing ovation, this great nation, a little gem of this world, yeah. A place of peace, a place of love. We are one Guyana, it's paradise, it's our world. We are one Guyana, a place of peace, a place of love. We are one Guyana, it's paradise, it's our
And that was our show for today. Thank you to Mr. Enoch Alikar and the models from Nine Nation Organization for joining us here on the Good Morning Guyana show. And thank you to you, our viewers. Don't forget to tune in right here on Guyana TV 9 for another exciting edition of the Good Morning Guyana show.
Welcome Welcome to Good Morning Guyana. From the latest in news and current affairs to inspiring stories from our communities. Expect engaging discussions on trending topics, exciting interviews with local celebrities, delicious recipes from our kitchens, and much, much more. So let's come together to celebrate all that makes our nation so special. Every morning is an opportunity to shine bright. Good morning, Guyana.